Okay, so this is issue 14 of Savage Sword of Conan. Managed to get a textless piece of cover work here, which is very, very nice. Not sure who did it because I can't remember. But very, very cool. Why issue 14 is out so close to 13, I've no clue at all. Because I know I waited a week to get 13, but it was still only 2 weeks ago that I picked up 13, and I swear this was supposed to be every month or at least every 2 months. No idea what this is rushed through. Anyway, so kind of got the same problem with this one with Savage Sword 13. The storyline in itself is a good story. It's just too samey to lots of other Conan stories. And it's getting to be that seems to be the case. We're getting a lot of kind of, I know they're self-contained, but the way they kind of just function, it just seems to be going, kind of repeating the same kind of thing. So Conan apparently is working as a commander of a group that has managed to fight some other dudes, and he's in charge, and it's actually managed to turn itself around. They wipe out a load of people. They make camp in this oasis, and there's a weird thing here. Again, I don't know if this ties into pre-existence or whatever, where Conan apparently has been attached to this cross thingy or this Y thingy, and has been potentially fed to this demon, and they killed a demon. That has nothing to do with the story whatsoever. That's just backstory, and I don't know if that's purely to kind of fit it in, like I say, fit it in with a pre-existing story, so we kind of know where this sits or whatever. But it doesn't make a difference to the actual story itself. Um, so one of his good guards spots this caravan on the horizon, which apparently just disappears into thin air. But it doesn't. They go over the top of the horizon, and all the bits are there, but there's no people there. Now, this kind of makes no sense. For the simple fact is that when they go to investigate and have a look around, they apparently follow this kind of path, or kind of the tracks that they go in. When apparently they didn't take any water or food or whatever, and they can't figure out why. I don't know why they left. I kind of get the idea possibly, but why Conan hasn't been affected by the same thing, I don't know. But we'll explain that in a little while. So anyway, they go off and have a wander, and what they come across is this massive sinkhole in the sand. They slip through, and it just as Conan thinks it's basically going to drown in the sand, it pushes through the ground, and they emerge into water in this kind of beautiful kind of underground city. Shockingly enough, there's loads of beautiful women down there. And they just basically keep talking about, oh, we can look after you. You don't need to go back up to the surface. Everything's lovely down here. It's very fantastic. And Conan's like, oh yeah, but I want to go back to the surface. Oh no, you don't. No, you don't. Anyway, all the other people kind of start getting seduced into it. One of the guys is kind of like saying that we could probably steal everything from this, this city, and no one would even care. And it turns out, and this guy also gets some of these fish things that he's never seen before, and all this kind of stuff. So that kind of goes on for a little while before, shockingly enough, things start going a little bit bad. So there's a scrying pool apparently that they can look into, which allows Conan to view one of his other men, kind of having these romantic trysts with his two women, which presumably, again, story-wise, how these people in here saw the caravan outside. But they didn't seem to be alerted to Conan's presence. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, what it turns out is these are sirens, as in the ones that sit on the rocks and drag the ships into the rocks. But of course, they're underground, but they're living in water, which I thought was a really cool idea. The idea you've removed them from the sea and put them in a completely new location makes sense. So presumably their sirens call is what called the traders in the caravan away from their own caravan. But I still can't understand why he thought he saw it and it disappeared. When it actually technically hasn't disappeared, just gone behind a hill. I don't know. But anyway, so that's what they are. They're sirens. So once we get to that revelation, the entire kind of He gets Conan decides to go up this tower. I just don't quite know why. I can't remember, don't know if there's any reason for it at all. There's a bell at the top of the tower. He's attacked by these killer birds. Once he rings the bell, it goes all they live, and all of the bad guys are revealed to be their true selves. The birds are no longer birds anymore. These are demons, and these kind of things are these kind of maggoty kind of lamprey kind of monsters. And of course, they'll start fighting them off, and the Queen's this giant maggoty kind of lamprey monster, which Conan obviously quickly dispatches over the course of a couple of pages with the help of his bowman friend. And again, I'm not quite sure why, but when that is killed, again, it's a kind of a cliche. You kill the big bad guy, and then all of a sudden the temple decides to collapse. So the temple decides to collapse. So as they're doing that, the entire sinkhole kind of plops down into the ground, and they're kind of revealing the temple. And this guy who survived the entire thing is just killed by a random stray piece of rock. And it's kind of like said in there, oh, it's just random. I don't know why they did that. Very odd. So yeah, so it's sticking out the top of the ground. They crawl themselves out, and it's like, oh, that was weird, wasn't it? And they go, yeah, right, okay, back to carry on. Then let's carry on what we're doing. So again, it's a fine story in its own right, but we see way too many stories of Conan meets mysterious strange woman. Strange woman turns out to be evil. Conan kills evil woman. Conan leaves. That's literally Conan. There's more to him than that. Surely think of some better stories. Come on. That's you know, we see it over and over again. It's really getting to be a bit of a thing now. The interesting backup story in this one, which I actually did read this time, is a Bleak story, um, which is odd. Um, Basically, they find this temple. They sends the men in there to go and have a look around. They see this gemstone on this throne, but all of the men died apart from this one guy. So Bleak takes some more men inside of it, and as soon as they cross the threshold of the thing, they all die. And it turns out that there's a goddess in there, and she is cursed to not leave the temple, I believe, and no man can rescue her, which obviously leaves the loophole of Bleak coming through. So she explains that she's a goddess, and Bleak says, "Oh, well, that's all very well. I'm not interested if you're a goddess or not." It's like, right, okay, I'd be a little bit worried, but there you go. So she possesses Belit and goes outside, and for some weird reason, I don't quite know why, but presumably she manages to fight off her influence. And as she's fighting off her influence, she basically turns around and spears the god through the chest and inside the building, and that kills her. And it's like, well, I don't think she was really a god because she's got killed by swords just like anybody else. So again, it's like, well, was she or wasn't she not? Is it vague? You don't know. And then off she goes and carries on the merry way. That's it. So, it's interesting to see her as an individual character. Because I think we had that one miniseries and that was it. But again, yeah, it's fine. Not too bad. But yeah, all in all, yeah, again, in their own right, these things are decent. It's just when you've had 14 issues of Savage Sword and like maybe 50% of them are very, very similar in storyline, at least kind of down to the basics. It's getting a little bit repetitive. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, maybe something will come along. Again, I think it's because of the nature of the one and done stories, because they're kind of all very similar in that respect. They try and wrap them up. But yeah, there must be more to Conan than this. So we shall see. Anyway, I think that's enough rambling for now. So thanks for listening, and hopefully I will see you on another video very, very soon. Bye bye.